In this fourth lesson on Introduction to Arpeggios, you're now going to learn to play arpeggios in a melodic and musical context. So we've created a progression for you to learn. And we do encourage you to learn the progression because rhythm skills are every bit as important as soloing skills to learn and maintain and improve, right? So over that, we have two melodies here for you to learn in this lesson. And you're going to put the arpeggios you've been working on into context. Okay? So let's just dive right into this so that you can get started and make it happen. Okay? Here we go. Here is the progression over which you're going to be playing the melodies that follow. I encourage you to take the time to learn this progression because 90% of your playing is rhythm, not lead. I know, it's tragic, but that's the truth. So good rhythm skills are very important. I've gotten more than a few gigs because of my rhythm skills more than my lead playing skills. Fortunately, my lead playing skills are up to snuff, but it was my rhythm skills that got me the gigs. So it's a good idea to learn to play the rhythm parts because we play so much rhythm in music. Now, I encourage bar chords, but you're welcome to play down here in first position, except for the C sharp minor, of course. This will give it a little bit more jangly pop sound, and that's fine. But I like to play the bar chords because the tone between the chords is more consistent because there's no open strings. Okay, so let's get into this. Now, you've got the rhythm, and it's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so I employ the steady state where the downstroke is your beat stroke and then the upstroke is the and. So you have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, right? And so you see that symbol in measures 2, 4, 6, and 8. Well, that's just a shorthand device that says, you know what you played in the last measure? Well, play that here too. Literally, everything you played in the first measure, play in this measure. Okay. So that's how you do it. All right. So you start with the A, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now repeat it. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then go to the E, 2, 3, and 4. Repeat it. 2, 3, and 4. Go to the C sharp minor. 2, 3, and 4. Repeat it. 1, 2, 3, and 4. To the D. 2, 3, and 4. Play it again. 2, 3, and 4. Then back to the A to keep it going. Okay? Round and round she goes. So what you want to do is pause the video, play this, learn it well. If you need to rewind and watch the strumming pattern, go ahead. Then pause and practice it. After you've got it fairly well in hand, the chord changes, then bring in the metronome and play along with the metronome. Solidify your rhythm skills. Do it around 60 to 70 beats a minute. I know that's a little slow, but the interesting thing and the cool thing about slower tempos is your note placement or your strum placement has to be more precise. So that helps you improve your rhythm skills. All right? So go ahead and do that for a few minutes. Then when you're ready to continue and start learning the melodies, restart the video and we'll get right to it. Okay, we're going to make some assumptions here that you are fairly confident in playing your lead parts. And so now it's just a matter of learning to integrate the arpeggio elements into what you're doing. So we're going to take this in chunks a little larger than we normally do so that we don't spend just too much time on this. Also, I'm going to go over the picking direction, the economy picking, as we walk through this. So I'm going to cover a lot of ground here. So pay attention, and again, take advantage of the technology. If you need to rewind, please do, and listen to what's going on. Now, the first chord is an A, so we're going to be playing an A major 7 arpeggio for the first part of the melody here, and then we're going to have a little tag on it before we go to the E. All right, so you're going to start with your second finger at the 5th fret of the 6th string, and that's a downstroke. Then you're going to move to the 5th string with your first finger at the 4th fret, also a downstroke. Now you'll stay on the 5th string with your 4th finger at 7 and an upstroke. You'll go to the 4th string at the 6th fret with your 3rd finger downstroke. Then you're going to play an upstroke on the 7th fret of the 4th string with your 4th finger. And then you're going to go to the 3rd string with your 3rd finger at the 6th fret. And then you're going to move to the 2nd string, also a downstroke, with your 2nd finger at the 5th fret. And then the 7th fret on the 2nd string is an upstroke, and that's your 4th finger playing it, by the way. Then you come back to the 3rd string of the 6th fret with your 3rd finger and an upstroke, back to the 2nd string at the 5th fret with your 2nd finger for a downstroke. Okay, so now I'm just going to call out the pick strokes. 6th string down, 5th string down, 5th string up, 4th string down, 4th string up, 3rd string down, 2nd string down, 2nd string up, 3rd string up, 2nd string down. Okay? If you want to pause at this point and go back and review that and walk through it yourself, go ahead and do that. Pay attention to the timing as well. All right? Then, when you're ready to continue, press play and we'll get to the E chord. Okay, let's look at the E chord now. Before we begin, this is actually a new shape, but if you're familiar with the cage system and the C form in particular, then this shouldn't be really out of range and reach for you, since you already know this shape if you're into the cage system. This is the C form of the E. Here's your root right here, and we have another root sitting right there as well. Now, if you're not familiar with the cage system or this shape, that's okay. You're playing this one note at a time. You don't have to actually play this shape like this. And that's a blessing, believe me. Okay, so let's just get to it. You're going to start with your 4th finger at the 7th fret of the 5th string, and that's a downstroke. Your 3rd finger is going to move to the 4th string at the 6th fret, and that too is a downstroke. Your 1st finger will be at the 4th fret of the 3rd string, downstroke. Your 2nd finger will be at the 5th fret of the 2nd string, also a downstroke. Your 1st finger will be at the 4th fret of the 1st string, also a downstroke. Your 4th finger will be at the 7th fret of the 1st string, downstroke. Your 2nd finger will be at the 5th fret of the 1st string, downstroke. Your 1st finger, 4th fret of the 1st string, upstroke. 4th finger, 7th fret, 2nd string, upstroke. 2nd finger, 5th fret of the 2nd string, downstroke. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to call out string and pick motion. All right, Fifth string, down. Fourth string, down. Third string, down. Second string, down. First string, down. First string, down. First string, down. First string, up. Second string, up. Second string, down. All right, that's the economy approach. So, pause the video, practice this. If you need to rewind and watch the demonstration and walk through, go for it, do it. Make sure you're knowing what you're doing and understanding it correctly. You also have the written material in front of you, I hope, so you can look at that as well. And then when you're ready to continue, let's put all four measures together, all right? All right, let's put all four measures together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play through this and I'm going to count it out loud so that you understand how long notes are supposed to be held, just to help you out here, okay? So I'll play kind of slow. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 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 3 and 4 and. All right? I know it's a lot to ask of you to count this out loud as you're working on your economy picking and just playing through the melodic ideas here. Musicians are the original multitaskers, so it's something that's important to know how to do. Counting helps you know when you're playing things correctly, and it helps you understand when you're playing things incorrectly because it doesn't come out right, timing-wise, counting-wise. So it's important to learn to count while you play. So pause the video, go over these four measures, nice and easy, take your time. This is all new stuff to you, right? So take your time. Then, once you have it fairly smoothed out, even at a slow tempo, put it to a metronome at the tempo you're able to play it, and really focus on getting things even more fluid and flowing in nature so that it just rolls off your fingers, right? And then when you've done that for a little while, go ahead and press play and we'll get on to the next four measures. Let's look at the next measure here, next two measures, the C sharp minor. We're going to actually frame a C sharp minor 7 arpeggio in the first measure, and then in the second measure we're going to do a little descending lick. So you'll be starting on the 5th string at the 4th fret with your first finger, and that's a downstroke. We'll stay on the 5th string at the 7th fret with your 4th finger, and that's an upstroke. Your 3rd finger will play the 6th fret of the 4th string, that's a downstroke. Your 1st finger is on the 4th fret of the 3rd string, that too is a downstroke. Staying on the 3rd string at the 6th fret with your 3rd finger, upstroke. 5th fret of the 2nd string with your 2nd finger, downstroke. 1st finger will play the 4th fret of the 1st string, downstroke. Your 4th finger will play the 7th fret of the 2nd string, upstroke. 2nd string, 5th fret of the 2nd string, did I say that right? 2nd finger, 5th fret of the 2nd string, downstroke. 3rd finger, 6th fret, 3rd string, upstroke. Oh my. Okay, Let's talk about your pick motion now, the economy picking. I'll go string and pick motion. 5, down. 5, up. 4, down. 3, down. 3, up. 2, down. 1, down. 2, up. 2, down. 3, up. Okay? Practice that. Get it clear. Get it precise. Put it to a metronome. Pay attention to your picking. Pay attention to your fretting. It's all very straightforward, okay? And if you need to rewind and review, do that, absolutely. And then pause the video, play it some more, get it clear in your head, count it out, and then when you're ready to get on to the D chord, press play and we'll hit the D chord. All right, the D chord. Let's see, second finger, 5th fret of the 5th string, downstroke. Your first finger will play the 4th fret of the 4th string, also a downstroke. Remaining on the 4th string, your 4th finger will play the 7th fret, and that will be an upstroke. Your 3rd finger will play the 6th fret of the 3rd string, a downstroke. Your 4th finger will play the 7th fret of the 3rd string, upstroke. Now your 4th finger is going to stay put and lay down on the 2nd string at the 7th fret, and that will be a downstroke. Your 2nd finger will play the 5th fret of the 2nd string. That is a downstroke. Am I on it? Yeah. Your 4th finger will play the 7th fret of the 3rd string, upstroke. Your 1st finger will play the 4th fret of the 3rd string, downstroke. And your 3rd finger will wrap it up on the 6th fret of the 3rd string, upstroke. Okay, let me just do string and pick motion. 5th string, downstroke. 4th string, downstroke. 4th string, upstroke. 3rd string, downstroke. 3rd string, upstroke. 2nd string, downstroke. 2nd string, downstroke. 3rd string, upstroke. For 3rd string, downstroke. 3rd string, upstroke. All right, practice the D chord. You've got a little bit of funky stuff going on there with your 3rd and 4th finger on the 3rd string and the 2nd string. So pay particular attention to that. You know this shape. So now we're putting it into context. If you need to rewind and review the D chord, the walkthrough, go ahead, do that. Practice your economy picking, focus, take it slow so that you get everything working the way it should. And then pause the video, practice it, get it smooth, put it to a metronome, and smooth it out even more, get it in time, count out loud, right? And then, yeah, I'm not asking much, am I? Then when you're ready to continue, restart the video, and we'll put all 4 of these measures together. All right, let's put these 4 measures together now. I'll walk through it. I'm going to count it out loud as I play it so you understand the timing of everything and how to count it properly. Okay, so here we go. 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 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 3, and 4, and then you go back to the beginning and play the whole thing all over again, all 8 bars. Okay, so pause the video, rewind if you need to review and play along with, if you're able to play at that tempo along with me. If not, that's okay. Just watch it, pay attention to how it's counted out, then pause the video, play through it yourself, counting out loud, and then with a metronome and counting out loud to further refine your timing. Okay? We all are a little wonky in our timing when we're learning new things, and that's perfectly okay because you're getting the mechanics down, the flow of what you're actually trying to play. So don't worry too much about that, okay? And when you're ready to continue, press play and we'll keep going. All right, now you have all 8 bars to work with. So I want you to take the first 4 bars and the second 4 bars and connect them together as a cohesive whole. What I want you to do is I want you to play this nice and slow. Work on your fretting hand technique. Work on your picking hand technique. Take it slow so you have time to think about what you're doing and what you're supposed to do, okay? Then when you have it smoothed out, even at say 40, 50 beats a minute, bring the metronome in at about 40, 50 beats a minute, maybe a little slower, and work it out to the metronome so that you get playing in time and get the notes happening when they're supposed to happen. This is why I want you to count out loud so that you know this note belongs on the end of beat 3, or this note is held over for an extra little bit. Whatever it is that's required, make sure you understand and can do it. And then with the metronome, can do it in time. Speed will come with time and familiarity and practice, okay? So don't worry too much about the tempo, all right? So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna go set up and I'm gonna play this melody over the 85 beat a minute backing track to let you hear how it should sound, okay? So let me go get that set up. All right, that was 85 beats a minute. And as you could hear, it really didn't sound rushed. It sounded nice and relaxed. And that's the idea here, to convey the melodic potential that arpeggios bring to your soloing. Okay? So what you want to do now is practice this at whatever tempo you're at. If you're at, say, 50 beats a minute, that's okay. Put on the metronome, make sure where you're at. Let's say, like I said, 50 beats a minute. So you play that and you get it smooth and flowing, get your technique working right, get your fingering working right. Now, if you have a looper, record the progression at 50 beats a minute and then play the melody over that. After you're fairly solid in that, I mean, play it for a few minutes, really get yourself working it. Then move up to 54 beats a minute. no more than 4 beats a minute increments in increasing your tempo, because you want to preserve all your technique and all your ability. If you're new to arpeggios and particularly to economy picking, you really want to take this nice and easy and make sure that all this technique is being brought forward as you increase your tempo. So at 54 beats a minute, it may feel a little rushed if it's not sounding faster, and that's okay. Just let your brain adjust to the increase in tempo, play the passage, the musical passage, until it starts to fall into place and feel comfortable and natural. Then, again, if you have a looper, record the backing progression at 54 beats a minute and play over it. Then, when you're ready to move up, say to 58 beats a minute, it's going to feel a little rushed again, but you play there, smooth it out, let your brain catch up and adjust, then your fingers will adjust. And if 58 seems a little fast, go ahead, back it off to 56 beats a minute. The point here is to be able to play without sacrificing your technique in both your fretting and your picking hand. And then once you're up to 65 beats a minute, the slowest of the 3 tempos we give you, which is 65, 75, and 85 beats a minute for the backing tracks, then put on the backing track at 65 beats a minute when you reach that and play with that. Play with it for a good while, 5-10 minutes, right? And then start moving up to the 75 beat a minute track by repeating the process that got you up to 65 beats a minute in 4-beat increments, no more. Preserve technique. That's the critical thing. Preserve technique. Okay? All right. Now, I mentioned at the beginning of the lesson that we had 2 melodies. Well, I've decided I'm going to split them up. This is the full lesson here. The next lesson, we'll do that second melody. It will be over the same progression. All right? So there's not going to be any change in the progression. But that melody is going to be a little bit different, and we'll get into that when you get into that next lesson, okay? So for now, just work on this, get it right, get it solid, get the tempo up a little bit before you move into the next lesson, because it'll be there, all right? As will I. We'll see you then. Hey, thanks for watching. If you press the little red button down there in the corner, you'll be subscribed to Outsmart Your Guitar. If you then hit the notification bell, you'll be informed when we upload new material, which is usually around once a week. Below the video in the description, you will see a link that will take you to where you can download a PDF of the lesson material that accompanies this video. All lessons contain a link to give you access to the written material for that lesson. Below that, you will see a link to Patreon Outsmart Your Guitar, where I have a lot of material that isn't included here. So you may want to check that out. There's 2 levels of subscription. I'd really appreciate if you would become a patron by subscribing at one of the 2 levels and help support my efforts to continue to provide high quality lesson material for you, to help you learn, play, and grow to become the guitar player you desire to be. All right. Thanks very much for your time. I really appreciate it. And hey, we'll see you soon.